Why do some people have such a difficult time getting over love? Like they fall in love, may marry the person, the relationship doesn't work out, but yet they can never move on. I mean, just never move on. They're stuck right there.
Welcome to the pressure cooker.
I have to be honest with you. There's a lot of them. They ain't never got over me, but
Here
I
we
get,
go. Here we go.
they, you leave such an impression on them. They don't have, it's very difficult for them to move on. If you a guy and you just, you know, you just him, you got your stuff together, you that kind of guy, you carry yourself in a certain way, and all she ever dealt with was sleaze bags and dusty dudes, and that's all she ever dealt with. That's all she been attracted. After a while, it get old, and she start thinking about what she had in you because she never could drag it out of them. And sometimes, uh, you know, you leave that impression, and she just fall head over heel with you, and it gotta be in multiple ways. It just can't be one way, because I'm pretty sure she had one way guys, and they was good at one thing, they just was lacking in a lot of other things.
So basically, you're saying you're good at everything.
uh Pretty much, pretty much. I mean, I just have to be honest with you. Pretty much. I mean, I ain't finna tell you I ain't struck out though. Just because you good at basketball don't mean you ain't gonna never lose a game. You know, some days you don't have your fastball working. Some days you only can rely on your slider, your change up, and your split finger. But sometimes you just don't have your fastball working. Uh, you know,
I was more or less talking about people who fall hard, who never get over love. Like, like they married, say they first sweetheart, childhood sweetheart, fall in love with that person, the marriage doesn't work out, and then, that person is not able to come back. They're not able to get over the pain. Like literally they spend the rest of their life never loving someone else again, never dating someone else again, just pondering over what went wrong. Like they spend years after years after years after years after years after years pondering over what did I do wrong? Why did I lose them? They don't even know how to live again. Like relationships are cut off. I don't want to never love again. I don't want another man. I don't want another woman. I don't want to be in a relationship. The pain is just so depth and so great that they don't know how to rise above it. Not even going to church, not even going to counseling. They just figure like it's better to be alone.
uh,
Those type of
some
people.
people have that mindset.
Hmm.
They just have that mindset. Some people are built like that. That's how they wired. So got to be very careful with those type of people, because you see people like, you know they stuck in the same place in life.
Hmm.
You can see the potential,
Hmm.
and you can eat, and it's very easy for you to point it out. Like all you have to do is X, Y, and Z.
Hmm.
But for some reason, they
They
never can
can't
do
take those
X, Y,
steps.
and Z.
Correct.
And that's basically living in the past.
Hmm.
You're stuck in
You
the
frozen in
past.
time.
You don't look forward. You
Hmm.
don't look like that something can be better.
Hmm.
It's just like some guys take on a persona is, my wife is so beautiful, I'll never find another woman.
Hmm.
You know, and I'm not saying you can't feel like she's a beautiful woman, but you can't look at her as she could do no wrong.
Hmm.
And if she did wrong, there's nothing left. I couldn't make it. I don't know what I would do if she did.
Hmm.
No, you have to look to the future. You
Hmm.
have to say that, hey man, no matter how it is, I'm
Hmm.
still gonna have to move on. And there's other beautiful women. There's other love out there.
Hmm.
If that's the route you want to take, there's other whatever out there. You can never sit there and dwell on I'm here and what happened to me in the past.
Just like some women who are virgins when they marry, and then the relationship don't work out, and they just go into a shell where they just never want to be touched by a man again. It's just a vicious cycle where um I thought this was my everything. I thought I would be with this person for the rest of my life. You promised to stay till death do us part, but yet something now you don't want me. Like they can't go on. They
Well,
can't see life beyond that moment. Like the why eats at them. Like I want to know why you didn't stay with me. I want to know why you didn't choose me. I want to know why I wasn't good enough. Like what makes people do that?
because they listen, they don't realize that no matter what, and everybody should know this.
Mhm.
Everybody leaves you.
Mhm.
Everybody.
Mhm.
And you're gonna leave
Somebody. Mhm.
somebody. Nothing in life stays the same.
Mhm.
You know, as human beings, you want it to always stay the same. It's not gonna stay the same.
Mhm.
That's how life is. It's
Mhm.
not the same. You know, even with me and losing my parents,
Mhm.
I don't really look back. I think about it sometimes, but that's so almost a distant past for me
Mhm.
because I knew it would end at some point.
Mhm.
It wouldn't stay. I wouldn't always have them around.
Mhm.
I wouldn't always hear my mama's voice. I wouldn't always hear my father's voice. I knew that, but I don't. That's why I have no problem in not saying, "Oh man, what if I could do this?" I see people post online, just give me. No, I don't. That had to go.
Mhm.
Something else got to happen.
Mhm.
Something else. It's almost like, you win the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
The same team not coming back next year.
Mhm.
Some people will
Mhm.
may keep playing football. But even if I do come back next year and the year after that, one of these years I'm not gonna come back.
Mhm.
So that's how you gotta look at life.
Mhm.
Everything ends
Mhm.
at some point. Some
Mhm.
people beg for them to stay and won't. It's not gonna stay because time don't stand still.
But for some people, um, it might have been better if it ended that way with the loss, because that's you go into marriage thinking till that do us part. But what happens when something else do you apart, and that person wasn't prepared for that? They just wasn't prepared for that, and they just don't know how to pick themselves up.
Well, you can't never predict that. You can't predict what's gonna
Mhm.
happen in life.
Mhm.
You just can't. You can do your best to try to not cause self-inflicted wound. That's my
Mhm.
motto. Don't cause self-inflicted wounds because
Mhm.
the hard times is coming.
Mhm.
The hard time, life is going to come on you either way. You either going into something or you coming out of something.
Mhm.
That's the only thing it's gonna be. You either about to something about to happen or you just coming out of something. So when you live life like that, it helps you. It helps you have a different mindset because it's all about. It only plays out in the mind, man.
Mhm.
It's only playing out in the
I
mind.
think in those situations, that's when a person relies on somebody else for their happiness. When that person um, dwells so much on that other person for daily survival, like you are the reason I live. You're my everything you need, and that's why they say you should never make another man or another human being. Because believe it or not only is that difficult for the person who's doing that, it's also difficult for the person who has to carry that and feel like they're responsible. And sometimes
Absolutely.
that's the reason they want to be away from
Hmm.
you, because I feel like you're smothering me. I feel like I'm responsible for everything about you, not just the things I should be responsible. But God, Lee, you're not happy. You're not happy. I see there's no
You
happiness in you.
you
You have no self worth. And that's the hardest thing, that people can rely on people so much that you are my everything. Do you know what that's like when somebody say you my everything? That's a heavy burden to carry, because they look towards you for every single thing possible, and that's difficult for a person to carry that.
you really, to me, you shouldn't be needed. You should be appreciated.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
and if anybody start wanting you to need them, that's the worst thing
Mhm.
because you know they shouldn't even want that for themselves.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
you gotta not want that for yourself. But when you start wanting that for you, you start looking at somebody, and all you doing, just like you say, is putting a heavy burden on that person.
Hmm. I think you've already given up when you can't internally find value in your own life. Like in value is my life is more than being with you, taking care of you, cooking and cleaning for you, and being your wife. I am a human being individually, and I think that that's what that person needs to find. They need to find self worth. I think they've lost their own self worth.
Kevin and Caprice. Let's talk relationships.